Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the Btec Level 7 Extended Diploma. For this unit, you'll need to satisfy the criteria as laid down in the assignment brief and as described here, but you should, wherever possible, use examples from the strategic change and long-term planning activity taking place in your own organisation and business sector, as well as showing evidence of having studied the unit topics in depth and breadth by referring, where appropriate, to relevant models, theories and established best practices. To enhance your understanding of these assignment issues, we strongly advise that you also discuss them with senior managers and senior specialists within your own organisation. Each section should be approximately 375 words, but can be up to 450 words, not including graphics or illustrations, so you need to keep your responses focused on what is being specifically asked for in each section. Section 1. There are a number of strategic change models, such as the evolutionary model or the currently popular sustainability maturity model. You need to describe the main established models and their most common uses. Following on from the above point, discuss how relevant each model is in today's business environment, dominated in the West by the continuing recession and in the East by rapid expansion of internal demand, but with constraints due to the recession affecting external markets. Here, an intervention in this context is when a strategic change of direction or policy is made to realign the organisation with the current business and external environments. An example of this is the strategic intervention that many organisations have been forced to make due to the exponential growth of online internet sales of products and services which until very recently were safe and profitable online traditional markets. You will need to discuss why using strategic intervention techniques is necessary and what the benefit could or should be. Section 2. On bullet point 1, you will need to select a specific organisation or type of organisation and analyse and examine the need for strategic change in that organisation. An example of a suitable organisation would be a major high street retailer or a West-based manufacturer facing increased competition, mainly on costs, from the East, or a family-owned business that needs funding for growth, which is only available by becoming a PLC. An alternative would be to select a business sector and discuss this from the point of view of organisations operating within that sector. On the second bullet point, using the organisation or organisations that you have selected in the point above, assess the relative importance of and potential impact of each of the factors that is driving the need for strategic change. On the last bullet point, a major strategic change is often costly in terms of human, physical and financial resources, and often in terms of reputation, image and brand awareness, but the cost of not changing direction or not adopting a new strategy can be far greater and potentially devastating. You'll need to discuss these issues here. Section 3. Stakeholders in an organisation can include operational employees, managers, suppliers, customers, clients, funding organisations, trade unions, professional associations, local authorities, local communities, the local and national media, government and more. Here you need to devise and present a system, a process and a plan that will involve such stakeholders in the planning of change in an organisation. Following on from the point above, you will need to outline how you would involve stakeholders in the development of a change management strategy. On the next bullet point, there are established mechanisms, methods and systems designed to involve stakeholders in the planning of change and the decision-making process. You'll need to briefly describe these here and give your view as to the effectiveness of each. Finally, resistance to strategic change is almost inevitable, but it can be minimised or localised. There are established proven methods of overcoming or at least minimising resistance to change. An obvious one is to involve as many people as possible in the early discussions, decision making and implementation of a strategic change, but there are others that you will need to research and discuss. In the strategy that you create, you should take into account the possibility of resistance from any or all of the stakeholders, which could include operational employees, suppliers, middle to senior managers, customers, suppliers, unions, external agencies and so on. Section 4. Here you will need to discuss available models, and against a background of continuous ongoing change, and remember the saying that change is permanent, discuss the core model of change that you propose and then describe the actual completed model that you plan to use. Following on from the point above, you need to prepare an outline plan showing timescales, resources, stages and objectives for the implementation of your change approach. For the last bullet point, just as asked, this is about straightforward monitoring and control for effective implementation. This is virtually the same approach as would be taken for the monitoring and controlling of the implementation stage of any project or plan, but don't forget the resistance factor has to be addressed here. Don't forget that you also need to write a reflective statement and add a list of sources of information and references showing any books, websites, articles, case studies, reports, internal documents and people interviewed that you drew on in order to complete your assignment. The reflective statement and sources of information and references are not included in your word count. Here is a list of websites that you should find useful when completing this assignment. If you need any further help or guidance with this assignment, please contact your tutor.